Yeah.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Triple Option Podcast. As you guys can see, we have a familiar face making a return. Michael, how does it feel to be back?
Feels great. I saw you guys ran one without me. I listened, pretty good stuff, but excited to be back and contributing again.
All right, so we're doing our Week 3 game picks. Now, this week's going to be full of just prime time matchups, especially on Sunday and Monday night. Chase, do you want to get us started for the first game of the week?
Let's get started. So as we know, unfortunately for you and me, Adam, we're not going to talk about this, but, Minshew magic, tragic, but there's always next week. But yeah, so first game, we got San Francisco at New York Giants. Spread is San Francisco -4. Is Nick Mullins better than Jimmy? Frankly, maybe. I can see that. I'm not against Nick Mullins. I think they can still cover. I think they'll win. I think they'll cover the spread. Nick Bosa is a big loss. Obviously, they lost half of their team to go along with him. I got Jerick McKinnon. I'm excited this week. Yeah, I could be getting like a 40 bomb from him for all I know. So yeah, I'm going San Francisco to win and they're going to cover.
I think a couple years ago, the Patriots were actually interested in Nick Mullins. There's rumors. I actually like him a lot. I think he's good. This is not much of a game for me personally. I don't think the Giants are in a position to win whatsoever, and they lost their best player. So I think San Fran's going to win pretty comfortably here. But you never know. Dion Lewis might get some carries, might get some good air yards or some receiving yards. But
they got Devontae Freeman. So
yeah, this is going to be a week where he's going to learn the plays. Next week he'll be relevant. So for me,
he's not playing too much.
I'm taking San Fran easily.
I'll take Giants. Why not? San Francisco's real banged up. Giants got to help out Carolina, get that number 1 pick. They got to get some win somehow. So
that's what
it is. Good spot. If Daniel Jones doesn't turn the ball over, they can win. I think that's what it's going to come down to. Just do not turn the ball over. You'll be all right.
I don't know. He doesn't have much weapons to throw to.
Maybe my boy Slayton, War Eagle.
Maybe.
Great player.
Dude, Golden Tate too. Golden Tate's sneaky good.
Yeah, you never know, but I like the San Fran in this game.
Yeah,
I picked the Giants last week. They let me down, so there we go.
Yeah, no. All right, speaking of last week Giants, we got next game. We got Bears at Falcons, and spreads -3.5 Falcons. That is ridiculously low in my opinion. Granted, we all saw the game. We already talked about a couple days ago, Adam, about the miracle in Dallas and all that good stuff. They still scored 39 points. The score is 40-39. They're going to stomp on the Bears. When the Bears traded for Khalil Mack, that defense was arguably the best we've seen them since the Bears in the 80s when they won the Super Bowl. They were all like, oh, we're going to bring it back. We're going to do that. I just don't – obviously, I'm not watching Red Zone and paying attention to them. So I might be wrong, but that defense just doesn't frighten me. And, Matt Ryan, if we know anything about him, that man loves to air the ball out. He has the best 1-2 wide receiver combo in the league right now, and there's nothing telling me right now they're not going to win by 4 or more.
Yeah, you cut out for a little bit, but it's all good. I think I'm gonna take Atlanta pretty easily here, and I'll tell you why. If you put up 39 points against the Cowboys and you look like you were beating them substantially for the majority of the game, I don't think Atlanta's a bad team. I've said this for a while now, ever since that Super Bowl run. Obviously, mentally they're not there, but their roster, especially offensively, has always been solid. They are always the team late in the year to upset some people, so they can't really put it together to have a winning season. But I'll tell you one thing. The Bears, I'm not too high on the Bears, and I do like Atlanta's offensively. So I'm going to take Atlanta. I think the Bears put up some points, but I think Atlanta's going to win by a touchdown.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm going to go with the Bears here. I'm a big Mitch Trubisky believer. Also, the
Really?
Bears offensive line has been sneaky good. I think I saw a metric where they're the second best offensive line in providing 2.5 seconds or more in passing situations as well as rushing. So
that's all you need to do to win in this league too. You just need to get a quarterback.
They're a good team. Their defense hasn't been playing great lately, but they still have big time players that can make big time plays. And Mitch Trubisky is good. I believe in him. I say Bears win this game.
And they've been able to run the ball with Montgomery more. So now the run game's a little bit more relevant. So yeah, the Bears look good, but I'm taking the Falcons still. That was a good point, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, my thing too is I totally just lost my train of thought what I was going to say, but the Falcons still still have some. I mean, look at the quarterbacks they had to go up against. Dak with his thing is Trubisky doesn't have the same targets Dak does. Your third receiver in Dallas is CeeDee Lamb, who just put up 100 yards on Atlanta. I think they'll do fine against Allen Robinson and company. I'm not too worried about Atlanta winning by four or less, 3 or less. But yeah.
Yep.
All right. So next game we got Cincinnati at Philadelphia. I'm going Cincinnati both. The spread is Philly -4.5. Obviously, I'm taking Cincinnati to win. Obviously, I'm taking Cincinnati to cover the spread. I'm just not afraid of Philadelphia. I think Joe Burrow is going to do wonders against that defense. I don't know how good they are. I don't know how bad they are. Again, it's only been 2 weeks, and it's, you gotta wait 3 for me to see how a team's looking for a season. You don't really see a lot of 0-3 teams to go to the playoffs. I don't think that's ever happened in recent memory. Might have, but I don't think so. But yeah, I'm Cincinnati. They're 0-2. They could be 2-0. Should they have beaten the Chargers? Obviously, missed field goal, but that was because of the PI. Philadelphia, they blew a 17-0 lead. They got handily lost to the Rams, who are a good team. 2 0-2 teams. Obviously, they're both trying to get on the board. You don't want to be 0-3 in the NFL. I just have way more faith in Cincinnati, especially that there's no fans in Lincoln Financial right now.
I'll tell you one thing. I think the Bengals are going to scare Philly a little bit. I'm not too confident in Philly at all. I think the first 2 weeks they looked absolutely dreadful, and I picked them to win that division, which is honestly still possible. Like, you could win 7 games and win that division. It's just the worst division in football. But for me personally, I'm going to take the Eagles for both, but I'm going to say Cincy has the lead at halftime. I think they give them a scare, and I think a lot of pressure is going to be on Doug Peterson and Carson Wentz, because if they go 0-3, a lot of people are going to be looking around saying, all right, we got to make
something's got to change.
Yeah, but I any day of the week, I'll take Joe Burrow over Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz has been playing awful. If he somehow bounces back and looks kind of like that MVP type year he had before he got injured, then I'll have a little bit more confidence in Philly. But Philly should win this game, but I'm a believer in Joe Burrow. He's going to put up a lot of points. I'm going to take Philly, but it's going to be close for sure.
I'm going to go with Philly, and they cover the spread as well, 4.5. If you're in a survival pool, I think this is the team to pick for survivor pools. I don't think you're going to get a more like guaranteed Eagles win. They've looked pretty iffy, but I think they should get the job done against Cincinnati. They're not very good. Carson Wentz has been playing horrible. He's my fantasy quarterback. He's been god-awful.
Tough pick.
Just picked up Herbert just in case as my backup. But
Steal.
Yeah, I just he's due for a good game, and this is such a good spot for him. Like, Baker Mayfield went off against Cincinnati. I'm sure Carson Wentz can do it too. So give me Philadelphia -4.5.
Dude, it wasn't even Baker. Don't at me. It was just the running game.
True.
But that is true, yeah. He made some timely throws, but it was mainly Kareem Hunt's job, yeah.
Their offense looked good, though, in general against Cincinnati.
Yeah, I mean, you don't put up 35 points and lose a game in the NFL. You know what I mean? Like, all right, we got Rams at Buffalo, and surprisingly, it's Buffalo -2.5. Oh, I mean, I love the Bills, Pats fan, but they're just such an exciting – just everything they got going for them is super exciting. But Rams are going to win. They're going to cover. That's just what it is. Rams are the better team. I don't know how many more years. Let me see. Goff's been in the league, 2 more years than Allen? Goff's been to the Super Bowl. There's no fans in Buffalo. I don't know. Just McVay's just horizontal, vertical offense is just so hard to stop. And Sean McDermott is a genius when it comes to defense. Obviously, he was a DC in Carolina. I think Sean McDermott's a very good coach, but I don't see how I can be like, oh, the Bills are going to win, let alone cover against this. I know they're both 2-0, but the Rams have seemed in control more in both of their games than obviously the Bills have.
Is this game in Buffalo?
It's in Buffalo.
All right, I'm gonna take the Rams, and I'll tell you why. Number 1, I want the Rams to win because I'm a Patriots fan. Number 2, I think Buffalo. I predicted last week that Buffalo was going to have a hard time with Miami, which I was right. It was 31-28. How does Miami put up 28 points against the Buffalo's defense? I don't even know. Maybe because it was in Miami, it was tough. Yeah. Anyways, I don't think the Rams are going to be able to run the ball. Buffalo's run-stopping D is really good. And you think of it, the Rams, you can say, they have one of the best receiving cores in the league. Like, I'm not really on that bandwagon just because, yes, they have Cooper Kupp, they have Robert Woods, but do they really have that, superstar wide receiver one?
No, they absolutely do not.
They have depth. I mean, I like Josh Reynolds. Higbee's all right. He had a breakout fantasy week last week. But I'm not going to stay here thinking, oh, if they take away the run from the Rams, Goff's going to be able to drop back passing and throw to Kupp and Woods and Reynolds, who's being guarded by like Poyer, Hyde, and Tre'Davious White. Like that's kind of an iffy matchup. I'm going to take the Rams just because I am going to bet against Josh Allen because I really don't want the Bills to win. That's just the bottom line. But yeah, it's going to be a good game to watch for sure. And the key is going to be if the Rams are going to be able to run the ball. If they can, I'm taking the Rams 100%. If they have some hard times, I'm pretty sure Henderson's going to be the guy this week because Cam Akers is out and Malcolm Brown has like a thumb injury or like a wrist injury. So it's going to come down to if they can ground and pound and get like some decent yards per carry, they'll be really good. They can bootleg, play action, do all the stuff they do. But if they're going to be one-dimensional and they got to throw, it's kind of unfavorable matchups playing against that Bills secondary.
Yeah, I'm going to go against you guys. I'm taking Buffalo. I don't think the Rams haven't gone up against a good defense this year. They're going to have some trouble against Buffalo. They're going to not put up many points in this game. And I just think Buffalo's a better team all around. Josh Allen's been playing lights out. He was my MVP pick in the beginning of the season. I think right now he's trailing Russell Wilson by a little bit, but
not by much. He's been really good.
He's been amazing. Their defense did let up a bit against the Dolphins game, and it was pretty close until like 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
It was such a bizarre game, too, because they had to go in at halftime. So I'm not really blaming the Buffalo defense on that. But, yeah, I continue.
Yeah. But, yeah, I think they get the job done here. Both teams are 2-0. Should be a good game. Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens. But I just think Buffalo has better pieces right now than the Rams.
We didn't even mention Aaron Donald and Ramsey. So those are 2 game records on defense. So we'll see what happens.
It's also, I think the thing with the Rams is that their offense, their weapons are kind of what the Pats have done over the years, where you don't look at them. The Pats don't have a Julio. They don't have a AB. They had AB, but you know what I mean? They don't have a guy like a Mike Thomas. They just have a bunch of guys that are really good at doing one specific thing. And, you know, they build the offense around that. And obviously, you know, Cooper Kupp's I'm pretty sure he's the best. He has the best, you know, like stats, best rating in the slot. So, you know, that's all they do is just do the play action, fake, the bootlegs, all that good stuff. That's just what they do. You know, like why was Robert Woods irrelevant until he came to LA? It's because Sean McVay is an offensive minded genius and he found a way to use him. Yeah,
I thought he was good in Buffalo, Robert Woods. He's always been all right.
He wasn't bad. But you don't look at him. He's not like a Julio. You know what I mean? He's not top 10 wide receiver. He's not a Devontae Adams. You know what I mean?
Well, say what you want. The Patriots had a Hall of Fame wide receiver for many years now. His name is Julian Edelman. Don't at me.
Oh, Julian, he better go to the Hall of Fame. He better go. They're second all time in playoff receiving yards. Not a coincidence. Yeah. All right. We got Houston at Pittsburgh.
Here we go. Buffalo game. Buffalo's been playing without 2 starting linebackers the first 2 weeks. Milano and Edmonds both returned this week.
Interesting.
So that's another big addition. So their defense is going to tighten up.
I like it.
I don't want to switch my pick, but, you know, all right. Mike,
get a load of this guy.
All right, so we got Houston at Pitt. This is a very difficult game. There's a lot of good games this week. I took Houston both. It's Pitt -4. That's obviously Houston got to lose by. I think Houston's going to win. I'm not too afraid of Pittsburgh. Their secondary hasn't been about it, you know, and like we said, Joe Hayden, Minkah Fitzpatrick. Houston, they got some speed guys. They got Brandon Cooks. They got Will Fuller. I don't know if they're playing this week. I don't know what the whole deal behind that is, but Bill O'Brien's on the chopping block now. You're 0-2. You don't want to go 0-3. I'm not too threatened by Pittsburgh. They obviously won. We could talk about it again. Driscoll tore up Pittsburgh. And, you know, we're talking about Joe Hayden, Minkah Fitzpatrick, all those guys, Terrell Edmonds. Like, are they good? Are they not good? Why are they getting run over by? Why are they getting stomped by Jeff Driscoll? But, so that's me. I'm going Houston. Houston's going to win and they're going to cover.
I don't consider Houston a bad team. I mean, you look at the first 2 weeks, Kansas City, then Baltimore. Those are 2 games. That's like the hardest schedule you can get. So I'm not going to put too much pressure on like 0-2. Like, dang, they're going to really like get off gear here and not be on the right track. But that's just a really tough start to the season. So I'm not going to blame that. But I am going to blame the quarterback play. And I'm not a big Deshaun Watson guy. I have never really been. And I've seen him countless times again. He's in big games. Sometimes he looks good. Other times, it's just like they're down or they can maybe be up. And I just see Deshaun Watson. I'm like, listen, like you can just tell this guy he doesn't have the charisma, like the winning leadership that other quarterbacks have. And he's
always running for his life.
That, I mean, you could say that, but like if I'm winning by 2 possessions in the fourth quarter against Deshaun Watson, I would be feeling pretty good, to be completely honest.
Oh yeah,
Like
easily.
he doesn't really threaten me that much. So enough talking shit about Deshaun Watson. I think the Steelers, they look kind of iffy. They made Danny Dimes, mainly Jeff Driscoll, look pretty good. Like that's really hard to do. He's like, what is he, a
Yeah.
1-7 record as a starter? Like Jeff Driscoll's
Yeah.
really bad, and he's threw some nice passes against them, and they're really just like a 4th down conversion of maybe winning that game. So that was a little bit too close for comfort for Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh should win this game. I think their defense is good. Their secondary's been underperforming, but they have the right pieces to be really arguably one of the best defenses in the league. Their front seven is ridiculous. So they're going to be going after Deshaun Watson. He's going to be scrambling around. He's going to be throwing it away. He's not going to be comfortable that game. And I look at the Houston's offense. I'm like, all right, David Johnson had an okay week 1. He hasn't really done much since. He has Will Fuller, I don't really like. Brandon Cooks is not what he used to be. There's no, like, who is it, Darren Fells? Like, there's no really big time player on that team. If they had, I mean, even if they had Hopkins, I would still take the Steelers. I'm just talking so much on the Houston Texans. It's just the way it is. Maybe it's Bill O'Brien. Maybe it's just Deshaun Watson. Anyways, I'm taking the Steelers by a decent margin. And I think what's going to come down to is Big Ben's back. And when Big Ben is back, the Steelers are a competitive, really good team.
Yeah, I think Pittsburgh's going to kill him. Houston sucks. Bill O'Brien sucks. Their offensive line sucks. Will Fuller's a bum, 0 yards last week.
That's impressive how bad he is.
Yeah, that's hard to do. 0 yards.
Yeah, I think Watson gets sacked like 6 times. They're going to be playing from behind, and their O-line can't protect the pass. I think he's just going to go down like play after play. It's going to be an ugly game for Houston, I think. But they are desperate. They're 0-2, so that's a positive. They'll be fighting hard, but they just don't have the personnel, and Bill O'Brien's a bum. So Pittsburgh wins this one.
Next game. Let's go.
And Bill O'Brien. All right. We got Tennessee at Minnesota. Tennessee minus 2.5. Criminally low line. Criminally low. The Tennessees are only supposed to win by a field goal. I'm going Tennessee both. 2-0 against an 0-2. This makes way too much sense. No fans. I think we're all taking Tennessee straight. I don't know how much we're going to talk about this. Like my friend, he's diehard Vikings fan. He's like, I'm done. I'm done with this franchise. Like, what am I supposed to do? Root for somebody else? He's not going to do that. But he's like, what is happening? Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing. This is you like that game. Just screaming Kirk Cousins this game. I'm
just
taking
screaming,
Minnesota.
throw the house.
I'm taking
on
Minnesota, and I'll tell you why. You think of Tennessee. Oh, 2-0. Wow, really good. Wow, they're one of the only undefeated teams. I don't like Tennessee at all. I think they're weak. They're not going to do anything. I look at Minnesota. Defensive backs are atrocious. Like, might as well just give them the 15-yard cushion. They can't cover. So Minnesota's defense, like, don't get me wrong, they're not gonna do much. But you look at Tennessee. What do they have at wide receiver? AJ Brown. I don't think he's playing. So all right. So who do you go to? Corey Davis. He's kind of a bust. He's never really been that special.
Davis is a jackass.
So is it really that hard to guard Corey Davis and what is it, like Adam Humphries and Jonnu Smith? That's not really that difficult. You have Tannehill throwing the ball. So offensively, if they air it out on Minnesota, good for them. But I'm telling you one thing, it's not like Aaron Rodgers going to Devontae Adams. It's Tannehill going to like Corey Davis and Jonnu Smith. So they're not going to really take advantage of that weak secondary that Minnesota has as much. And I think Kirk Cousins, listen, he had a terrible game last week. I like Kirk Cousins. He's my guy. So I'm taking Minnesota just because I don't think Tennessee is that good. And I think Minnesota's going to win by a field goal.
Yeah, no. Titans, easy cover. Kirk Cousins.
Mike loves himself some Titans.
I don't know if you were watching his last game against the Colts. He was god-awful. He couldn't even get a completion, 3 interceptions. That team sucks. I was all over the under on their win total in the beginning of the year, and I'm just going to keep slamming it. They're an under 500 team. They're no good. They're going to get last place in their division, and they're the worst against the run in the NFL, and you're about to go up against Derrick Henry. I just don't see how that's going to –
Yeah, that's not – you don't love that.
Yeah, they're just not going to – I think Derrick Henry goes for I want to say that his like over-under run total is going to be in the 110s. And I think he's going to get that, honestly. Jonathan Taylor had a field day. So did the Green Bay guys week 1. Yeah, I just like Tennessee. Tannehill's been playing really good, too, like sneaky good. Like, he's not, like, too flashy. But he's doing what he needs to do.
He's doing his job. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's all he's doing.
Yeah. So I like Tennessee. It's a small line. I think they cover.
Watch out for a special week from Kirk Cousins.
All right, I'm going to end Adam. Oh, geez, Adam, really? Really? You like that? All right, here we go. We got Washington at Cleveland. Cleveland -7. I'm going to Washington. It's going to win and obviously cover as the underdogs. That just, all I can say is Chase Young, Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat, and Ryan Kerrigan. They're going to make Baker run for his damn life. And I am looking so forward to seeing that. Haskins is settling in. They have a better coach. They're obviously going to outcoach Cleveland. That's not a question at all. Because, that the coaching plays a huge factor in the NFL. It's not like it's NBA, which you have 5 guys dribbling up and down the court, just throwing up shots and stuff like that. Coaching such a – I think Ron Rivera is going to make – I don't even know. Kevin Stefanski's at the coach of the Cleveland. He's going to make him look like his bitch. You know what I mean? It's just – he's going to have Baker running for his life. I think Haskins can get the job done. They still have talent on that team. Like, you look at the team, it's not like they're atrocious. They obviously had the second overall pick. But, they have a real coach now. They have a quarterback who's he has some experience under his belt. I'm not going to come out and say they're going to smack Cleveland. It's probably going to come down to a field goal, missed field goal, touchdown, something like that. So it'll come down to the final drive. I have way more confidence in the football team than the Browns.
I look at the Washington football team and I say to myself, what do they have besides a pass rush and their front seven? And I look to myself, I'm like, nothing.
They still have Landon Collins out there in the secondary.
Landon Collins was my guy. He was my favorite Madden 16 franchise player. But guess what? Their offense, Dwayne Haskins is a bum. I never liked Dwayne Haskins. I think Terry McLaurin's a good player. But if you lose to the Washington football team, that's not a good look whatsoever. So you can take a look at the Eagles. That's
and awful. You're taking the Eagles this week against the Rams. Or not the Rams, the Bears. Nope, Bengals.
I am looking at Baker Mayfield. I'm like, listen, what do you have to lose this game? You looked good on Thursday night. Now it's your time to really make people feel different about you. You're against a tough matchup. He's not going to have a lot of time to throw because his pass rush is crazy. But guess what? If you get the ball out quickly, you get favorable matchups with OBJ and Landry because their secondary is not that good. I'm taking Cleveland. I think Washington's going to cover, but I'm taking Cleveland to win.
Completely agree with you. Same points, not much to say. 7 points is too many, in my opinion, for Cleveland to have against anybody. High. Yeah, so I like football team +7. Browns I think will get the win and they'll be 2-1. So some optimism over there.
All right. It's gonna be one of those games where it's like, why is this on Red Zone so much? It's just gonna be it's gonna be a shit show. It's gonna be a turnover every other damn drive. All right, we got Jets at Colts, and the line is Colts -11.5. I think the Jets will lose. Obviously, they will not win. Yeah, but 11.5 is way too high. The Colts, they're not. I don't know how about it they are, how good they are. It's been their 1-1. They lost to the Jaguars. Granted, we all thought the Jaguars are going to, never know. It's 3 weeks. But, it's not like the Jaguars are going to win the Super Bowl. You got Jonathan Taylor, but they got Quinn Williams to counter him right there. I think it's way safer to say the Jets are going to lose by 11. I think they're going to lose by 10. It's going to be touchdown and field goal. So, obviously, I think they're going to cover the spread. 11.5 is criminally high, in my opinion. Because Sam Darnold's not bad. They obviously got Justin Houston, DeForest Buckner, and, Marcus Hunt on that defensive line. Some other, probably random washed-up vet on that line. So, they're definitely not going to – he's not going to have all the time in the world. But I can't remember – I don't know how to pronounce the guy's name. Mekhi Beacon, is that his name?
Vector.
Yeah, he's the number 1 rated rookie tackle right now. So he's obviously doing his job. So
he's massive. He's huge.
I think he can hold off Houston wherever he's up against enough to give Darnold some time because that man has talent. We saw that throw he made to Braxton Berrios. So I'm not too worried that they're going to lose by 10 or less.
Yeah, that was a great point. That was one of the best throws of the year. Was that garbage time Sam
Roger-esque throw
rolling to your left? That was one of the best throws for the season. I don't think Sam Darnold's bad. I just think their position to win is atrocious. He needs a lot of help. But I'm looking at this. I'm like, all right, there's one thing if this was Patriots Jets and you still had Tom Brady 11.5, yeah, easy. But this is the Colts. Like Phillip Rivers hasn't really been playing his best. I feel like T.Y. Hilton's not really been a factor. He's been like, I think like 80
He's
yards in
old,
2 games.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you got to get some air yards. You got to get some pass attack going for if you're Indy. Obviously, you have a lot of upside with running back, but without cutting corners, really just going right to the point. Colts are going to win, but it's not going to be by 11 and a half. That's ridiculous. It's going to be like a touchdown maybe.
Yeah, I 11 and a half too many points. They're definitely going to win, but I think Jets cover. They're hurt, like they're missing a lot of pieces. I think they got Braxton Berrios and Chris Hogan as their 1 and 2 guys.
The old Pats.
Yeah,
It's not like Jameson Crowder's any better.
Yeah, Le'Veon Bell's out, right? Yeah. Who do they have in there? Who's their running back? Like, is it Frank Gore?
Yeah, it's Frank Gore.
Frank Gore. Watch out for Perrine or whatever his name is.
Yeah, Perrine. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. I think he's an Oklahoma guy. So
yeah,
wasn't his friend in college, but yeah, he hurt West Virginia pretty bad. So yeah, I think the Jets will score some points on the board, and Colts do not cover.
Yeah, 11.5 is criminally high. That's the take of that. But yeah, all right, here we go. Carolina at Chargers. Chargers minus 6.5. That is a beautiful line because that's just got to say Chargers going to win by a touchdown for it to cover, not even wash. I'm going they're going to cover. I'm going they're going to win, the Chargers. You know, Herbert's starting again. That's exciting. And the thing is, Carolina's put up some points. I'm assuming their defense is honestly pretty high because of the amount of yards they've been getting, but now you don't got CMC. You still have Robbie Anderson as your number 1 wide receiver, so that's not helping you anyways.
DJ Moore's the number 1 guy.
Oh, you're right, DJ Moore.
But I'll give you credit, though. He's not much of a number 1 guy. He's pretty pedestrian. Shout out Mike right there.
Mike's punched in the air right now. I think Herbert, he's going to who's your number 1 cornerback? Dante Jackson?
Yeah, for Carolina.
Bradbury's
he's
gone.
speedy. He's fast.
Yeah, he's good.
That
That's
man
a good
can
corner.
run, but I feel like Herbert's going to have a field day because I don't know what else you guys got going for you besides Dante Jackson on defense and Shaq Thompson and Brian Burns.
This is going to be a close game, and this is just screaming close game. I'm taking the Chargers to win, but it's going to be very last minute. It's going to be a close game for sure. And I look at Carolina without Christian McCaffrey. Obviously, their offense, it takes a big hit. But you got to remember, the Chargers are a team that they were pretty close. Like Cincinnati, that was a competitive game, and I wouldn't consider Cincinnati to be that good.
That's when Tyrod was starting, though.
Exactly. So you're making a bet here, saying, all right, we saw the Chargers almost beat Kansas City last week with Herbert. Herbert must be the real deal. Like, you don't take one of the best teams in the league to overtime and almost win. But I'm gonna take the Chargers here, but I think Teddy Bridgewater has a sneaky good game. Obviously, it's gonna be tough because that pass rush they rush for and they get after you really quickly, and their corners are really good and their safeties are really good. So Teddy Bridgewater is gonna have kind of an iffy time, but I'm not completely sold on Herbert yet. I'm gonna pump the brakes a little bit, but obviously that gives huge. Like I'll tell you one thing, Keenan Allen's gonna be really happy to have Herbert throwing the ball versus Tyrod Taylor, because with Tyrod Taylor, just the air attack is really bad. So yeah, it's going to be a close game for sure.
Yeah, Carolina, I don't really know where to begin with them. They have 0 sacks as a team this year. Only a team in the NFL without a sack. Horrible.
That is horrible.
That's terrible.
Yeah, they also are just they're missing McCaffrey. Their offensive line isn't good. Yeah, they're done. They're done. I'm excited to see what Curtis Samuel does. I think they should use him in a running back sets like he did at Ohio State. But yeah, I hope they lose this game. I don't even want Carolina. 0-16 suits me, but I think this game will be close. I know like they were like looking at Herbert in the draft process because they had the 7th overall pick, so they were like scouting him out to see if they wanted him or not. So some familiarity there. They have a really talented offensive coordinator in Joe Brady, so he'll devise some nice game plans, I think. But I think Chargers win this game and cover something like, I don't know, like 23-13 or something. 23-17. Yeah.
It's just a touchdown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not -7. It's -6.5, which is
6.5. You know what? Switch it to Carolina. Yeah, I don't think Chargers by 6. So Carolina covers.
I like it.
Mike has spoken. All right. Big game here. Pretty unusual one because it's Tampa at Denver. And it's Tampa -6. And what it comes down to is Brady is 4-7 in Mile High. Are they going to win? Is Tampa going to win? Of course they're going to win. I'm not going to come out here and be like they're not going to win. No, they're going to win. But -6, again, it's like the Carolina game. It's just a touchdown. I think they're going to cover. They don't – apparently Jeff Driscoll is like an elite quarterback now, what he did at Pittsburgh. Can't say that enough. But, Denver's just hurt. They looked like they could possibly win the AFC West this year. I'm not coming out here and being like they had a 50% chance. I'd say they had a surprisingly high percent chance. So that's that. I'm going they're going to cover, and I think they're going to obviously going to win.
I think what this game is right now, it's just another team in the way from destiny for Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. And I think this can be an ass kicking. And I think that if the Broncos had Von Miller, they were healthy, they had Drew Lock, they would be a borderline playoff team with a lot of upside, and people wouldn't really want to play them. But since they're in a really tough spot, they're banged up, Jeff Driscoll doesn't really bring much to the table. This is just, I think Brady's going to go into Mile High. He's going to have a very efficient game plan. They're going to run the ball. He's going to air it out. Hopefully Godwin plays, and they're just going to win by maybe 2 touchdowns, maybe 10. So, yeah, not much really to talk about here. I think Brady looks good. He had some past issues in Mile High, but he was playing some really tough teams. He was playing Peyton Manning with that crazy defense.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, this Denver team's banged up. They have no one left. Drew Lock's also out, so when you're playing a quarterback down, it makes things even more difficult. So their defense isn't full strength. Their offense is a disaster. I think Tampa Bay kills them here pretty easily. Jeff Driscoll is pretty bad. He did do okay against Pittsburgh, but he was making some real bad throws here and there. So he's just not a consistent quarterback. He's not going to capitalize on mistakes and coverage too much, I think. So I think Tampa Bay wins by double digits here.
Yeah, they also lost a huge loss in Cortland Sutton. He's a fantastic player.
He is.
Adam was waiting for that man to tear his head. Adam saw him go down. He's like, what? Better than Brady coming back to the pass.
Watch out for KJ Hamler. He's going to be the new guy. He's going to be sick. Penn State guy. He's good.
Got him some reps. That's good.
Man has speed, doesn't he, right?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. This is a big game. Dallas at Seattle. Probably Joe Buck's going to be doing
the Joe Buck game of the week.
Joe Buck game of the week. Cannot wait to watch that one. I love Dallas, and it pains me to be like Seattle's going to win and they're going to cover. I think Dallas can win? Of course I think Dallas can win. It's just the safer pick to take a team who smack-dadly handled the Falcons. And, I'm not going to come out here and be like, they should have lost the Pats. You don't let up 35 points and expect to win an NFL game. I'll say that till the day I die. I'm not upset about, Super Bowl, 52 losing to the Eagles. Yep. You don't allow 37 points and expect to win a Super Bowl. I can't right now come out here and be like Dallas is going to cover. I mean, they have a lot going for them. I think this could be a possible NFC championship matchup for sure. But yeah, I'm gonna stick with Seattle -5, -4.5 right now, and I think they're gonna win.
I think Cowboys are a very undeserving 1-1 team. They should be 0-2. Let's just get that straight away. And I think the Cowboys are very underwhelming. They have all this talent, and they haven't been able to get W's. So this is not a good game for them whatsoever. And I look at Seattle, and I think, all right, Russell Wilson probably leading the MVP race. So you have him. You have Metcalf, who I think is awesome. I wish the Patriots took him, but Metcalf is phenomenal. And I think he's the new number one guy over Lockett in Seattle. And obviously you have big play potential on defense with Jamal Adams. But I'm standing to it. I don't like their offensive line. I thought Cam Newton last week had a lot of time in the pocket. He was very comfortable going right through his progressions.
Yeah, they didn't get a sack.
They can't get after the quarterback, which is going to hurt them down the stretch. And they can't really – Patriots don't really have that much of a pass rush either, so Russell Wilson looked pretty comfortable. But against really good teams in the NFC, let's say Tampa Bay plays them with that front seven, that's going to give Russell Wilson some issues. But yeah, I'm going to take the Seahawks to win this game, but I'm not high on either team. And you saying this is a possible NFC championship matchup? Absolutely not. So yeah, I'm going to take Seattle. They'll probably win by 7 to 10.
It's not going to be Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's not going to NFC Championship game. I'm going to end that right there, Adam.
I think this is Tampa Bay's year, and there's no one in the NFC besides maybe Green Bay. But Green Bay always gets blown out in the NFC Championship, so it's wide open now. It's Drew Brees is pedestrian.
With Drew Brees at his retirement home down there in New Orleans.
Yeah, 4.5. Too many points for me. I'd be on the Dallas side here. Cam Newton looked really good against Seattle. Their defense looked exposed at a lot of moments in the game. So I think Dak Prescott has a big game here. I think Russell Wilson responds with a big game as well, probably bigger than Dak's. Dallas's defense has been really concerning. They've been trash on the defensive side of the ball. But yeah, they're a lucky team. They'll probably get like a lucky break. They're either going to win this game or lose by like less than 3. So yeah, I think Seattle wins by 3. So give me the Dallas cover. That's going to be a safe pick right there.
Now that I think about it, they have DeMarcus Lawrence and Aldon Smith coming on either end of Russ. I'm just assuming Russ is going to do what he did do. Yeah, it's going to do what he did to the Pats. And it's like, oh, look at that, 5 yards on 3rd and 2 right there, just scramble. That was frustrating to watch. All right, we got Detroit at Arizona. Arizona minus 5.5. I'm going to save everyone some time. Arizona is going to win, and they're going to cover. Next.
100% agree. I think Kyler Murray continues to shine. He's going to be top MVP candidate for sure. And I think Hopkins, since he's been on the same page right away, shows that he's a really good player. You can just plug right in, and he's a great receiver, top 5 receiver. So I would still take Odell Beckham over him if I was making a team. That's a conversation for another day. But yeah, I like Arizona.
I'll take Detroit. I think 5.5 is too many points.
Wow.
I'll take Detroit with the points. I think Arizona wins, but Detroit covers. Their defense has been doo-doo, but I think Stafford has a big game here. So give me Detroit plus 5.5.
Detroit should have won week 1. I feel super bad. And I thought Stafford.
Yeah, they should have won.
They definitely should have won.
I feel bad for Stafford. I don't think he's bad whatsoever. I think he's solid.
Stafford's a very good quarterback.
Great quarterback. Bad system.
Needs some help.
Yeah.
Excuse me. All right. This is – actually, you know what? This is Sunday Night Football, so Joe Buck is just punching the air that he can't do another damn
Talk about Aaron Rodgers.
Like, that's Chris Collinsworth. Like, here's a guy. He's going to be loving that all day. But here we go. Packers at New Orleans. New Orleans minus 3. Doesn't even matter. It's going to be Green Bay. They're going to blow out New Orleans on Sunday Night Football.
Wow.
Everyone's going to be like, oh, no, like, is it really the end of Drew Brees? Oh, my God, they're 2-1-2 now. Oh, no, like, dude, Rodgers going to have a field day. Aaron Jones is going to have a field day. Kamara's also going to have a field day. I think Kamara's going to go off because Drew's going to be checking him the ball the whole damn time. Emmanuel Sanders is going to be bullshit because he can't get a damn pass from him. Jair Alexander's going to swamp him. This is screaming Packers are just going to have a field day. It's all it's going to be. Packers are going to come into the Superdome, smack them. Rodgers is going to have a handlebar. His post-game interview is going to be ridiculously sick. So I'm just calling all these hot takes right now. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, so some important points. No Devontae Adams. I think he's doubtful.
Doesn't even matter.
It's unfortunate. Kind of unfortunate that you're missing the top two receivers, arguably in the league, in Adams and Michael Thomas. So that's definitely there. But if there's one guy who can make adjustments and throw to people on the street besides Brady, it's Aaron Rodgers. And I think Valdez-Scantling and Lazard and who's their tight end?
I think they don't got Jimmy Graham.
It's not Sternberger, is it? No, he's like the third string.
Maybe?
It could be, honestly. Anyways, he's going to throw to Aaron Jones. He's going to be very efficient on offense. I think New Orleans, their defense is solid. I'm not going to hype them up saying they're one of the best defenses in the league. I 100% disagree with that. But I'm not really sold on Drew Brees without Michael Thomas. I don't think he's going to be good. I picked against Drew Brees last week, and look how that played out. Vegas looked really good, and they beat them. But, yeah, I think Drew Brees is going to have some issues here. I've always liked the Packers defense. Their problem for the last 10 years is, like, you got to get some secondary pieces for Aaron Rodgers because when Green Bay is out there, they just get blown out, and they just get, like – It was unfortunate that last year they couldn't stop the run, but really their issue for the last 10 years was their secondary. So now that Jair Alexander's there, I like their secondary. And I think they're going to go into New Orleans, which has – I don't think they're going to have fans. Maybe they have like – I think I heard that they're going to put in like 700 fans, 800 fans in there. Doesn't really matter. I don't think New Orleans is that much of a scary place to play. I remember like 3 years ago, Brady just blew them out in New Orleans. But yeah, I'm going to take Green Bay here by a lot. I think Green Bay looks good, and I think Aaron Rodgers is going to throw some beautiful back shoulder throws.
Yeah, I like Green Bay in this spot too. I'm obsessed with these pass block metrics and run block, and Green Bay ranks number 1 in the NFL so far this year in pass block win rate and run block win rate. So that offensive line has been putting in work. Aaron Rodgers has been looked like phenomenal, and so is the run game in general. So yeah, Devontae Adams, big loss if he doesn't play, but like you said, Michael Thomas is out on the other end, and Drew Brees has just not looked good so far.
He didn't.
Yeah, and Manuel Sanders really quiet, a couple weeks from him as well. I thought he was going to be a more efficient acquisition, so we'll see if he turns it around. But yeah, as of right now, from what I saw in these first couple weeks, I like Green Bay much more than I do New Orleans.
The fact that they played the Raiders last week and Brees had all day to throw and he had to check down to Kamara like every play, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign whatsoever.
All right, so unfortunately I skipped the New England game, so we'll save that for last, obviously best for last, but Monday Night Football, probably what ESPN dropped so much on is we got Kansas City at Baltimore, and the line's Baltimore -3. I like Baltimore to win. Kansas City almost lost to the Chargers. I'm not going to come out here and be like Kansas City's all that. Obviously, they're still gonna fight. Probably go to the AFC Championship game like normal. Past couple of years. But I don't think Baltimore is going to beat them by more than 3. I think it's going to come down to like a Justin Tucker field goal to ice it. So I'm going to say Kansas City is going to cover the spread of 3.5. It's going to be a very good game. It's going to be like the Rams Chiefs like 3 years ago maybe. That game was nuts. I think it's going to be something similar to that. And, thank God Booger McFarland's in it. It'll be like, see, that's a first down where the receiver or the running back passed the first down line. That would make ape shit. I just fucking throw my TV.
Baltimore is the better team. Straight up. They can run the ball on you. They have safety blankets for tight ends. You have Lamar who can run all over you, scramble. You can't really contain him. Defensively, you have a great front seven that can stop the run and get after the quarterback. They have great aggressive ball hawking corners. They have smart safeties. Baltimore is the better team straight up, and they have home field. So if you're going to put money on this game, you put it on Baltimore. But Kansas City has Patrick Mahomes, and Mahomes is my guy. I took him, picked 200 and something, 10th round. No one even knew who he was. Mahomes, like, what is this guy? Like, why is he taking Mahomes as a quarterback? I picked him for my fantasy team, and we won. And so he has a special place in my heart. So if there's one guy that is an X factor in the NFL right now, besides Tom Brady, because he's forever. Anyways, back on track. Mahomes is going to win this game. I don't know how. They're playing against – the odds are against them. You're playing against a team that can run the ball, they can move down the field, control the clock, they can play defense, they can get after the quarterback. They have all of these things. But I'm taking Patrick Mahomes by 1 point.
I agree with you. I'm taking Kansas City definitely with the spread, and I think they win this game outright. I'm never betting against Mahomes a plus 3.5 against that. That's ridiculous. I think whatever happens, but I like my chances with Patrick Mahomes and a 3.5 point buffer. So, Kansas City, they haven't looked that great. They had struggled against Chargers, but I think they bounced back here. I think this might be like one of those. Remember that Rams-Chiefs game, like where it was like 50?
Yeah, like I talked about, where it's just like every other play was a touchdown.
Yeah. I think this might be it right now. Like a similar thing.
I'm
the Super Bowl everyone deserved. I remember that's what the headlines were.
Yeah, my boy Edwards-Helaire, big game from him. I know Adam
Prince of
him.
Helaire.
He's really good. I think his goal line efficiency is off the charts. Goal line efficiency, best in the league. Give him some carries.
Yeah, we'll see. It's going to be an exciting game. Could be the game of the year. So I'm super hyped. Yeah,
for sure.
All right, we got again best for last. The Vegas Raiders marching to Foxborough with the spread being 5.5 New England. Save everyone some time again. Patriots. What did they take away from playing the Seahawks last week? That we are going to the Super Bowl. I don't care who's in our way. We are going. That is all I'm saying. We had a guy in Cam Newton who is better than his MVP season right now. He is better than Lamar. That dart he threw was better than any throw I've seen Mahomes throw in his life. That the dart he threw to Jules. I can just go on and on about Superman. So here's my take. Vegas is going to get blown out. Bill is going to wear his beak again. The Bill Beakachek, whatever it was called. Newton's going to probably rush for like 70, couple touchdown rushing, probably another 350 on the air. Not worried about Oakland at all. Or Vegas, not worried about Vegas at all. It's not like they're playing in their Allegiant Stadium. Ooh, flashy. I don't care. I don't care how good your stadium is. You're not a good football team. You're not better than 31-year-old Cam Newton, who is going to win the MVP when the Patriots go 15-1.
I would 100% agree with you if Kansas City and Baltimore just stop playing in the NFL. I also agree with you.
I forgot that you're not a Patriots fan. You're just a Tom Brady's fan.
I picked New England to win last week, and I stayed up and I was rooting for them. I am a Patriots fan at heart, but I'm more of a Tom Brady fan. That's just the name of the game. Tom Brady's my guy. Anyways, back on track here. If they had Tom Brady, they would win easily. Cam Newton.
If we had Tom Brady last week, we would have lost by even more.
If we had Tom Brady last week, we would have won.
We would have lost by even more.
It would have been minute left. He would have matriculated the ball down the field. Goosebumps. He would have got chills.
We would have lost
Flashes
by even
of Tom
more.
Brady. Flashes of 2001 Tom Brady against the Rams in the Super Bowl. Anyways, I'm going to take the Patriots here. They're going to win pretty easily. I think the Raiders aren't a good team. They beat New Orleans, who, again, I don't think they're that good of a team either. So there you go. But I'll tell you one thing, Chase, you're not going to like this. I think the Raiders are more deserving of being 2-0 than the Cowboys are being 1-1.
No, I agree with that. You don't upset. I absolutely agree with you on that. My thing is, we're saying, they could be 0-2. They should be 0-2. I don't think they should be, because obviously they didn't deserve that win they had last week. But my thing is, Michael Gallup got a penalty called at him that should not have been a penalty.
BS call.
So here's the thing. I'm not saying they were going to win the game because they would still have to hit a field goal, which is now the NFL, now that's past 2015, field goals are just so hard to hit. So they still would have had to hit a field goal, or they would have had a touchdown. So I think they still could be 1-1 in an alternate universe right now. But I do agree they are more deserving to be 2-0 than the Cowboys. I don't remember who the Raiders played in Week 1, but it's still they made a statement win against the Saints. I'm not coming out here saying the Saints. I do think they're going to win the division. But they're not. You're not going to NFC Championship game this year. They're going to lose the divisional round. They're going to lose the wild card round this year.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm taking the Patriots to win the AFC East. I think with Cam Newton, he's played phenomenal last week. I liked the Patriots a lot. They're a playoff team for sure. And people were really down on them early in the season. I'm like, listen, there's people like, it's Belichick. Belichick was the genius behind these last 20 years. There's people like, it's all Tom Brady. I'm right in the middle. I'm slightly towards Tom Brady, but I think Bill Belichick, you plug in Matt Castle going 11-5, like that system is money. And I think Bill Belichick's with Cam Newton at quarterback still better than the Bills, even with Josh Allen playing the way he's playing. So yeah, this is a pretty easy game for me. And the Raiders aren't that good of a team, but I got John Gruden's a good coach. He'll have a good game plan. Darren Wallen's a phenomenal tight end, but I think the Patriots win pretty comfortably here.
Yeah, I think 5.5 is a little too many, but Cam Newton's my guy, so give me Pat's cover. But
there you go.
If I was unbiased, I might go Vegas plus 5.5 here because I think that's too many, and I think they're better than that. But yeah, give me Patriots cover. I hope Cam Newton balls out again, and I hope they kill him. So yeah, go Pats.
There's a report that Josh Jacobs is a little banged up. I think it's his hip, and Henry Ruggs is out as well. So they're not
Henry Ruggs being out is massive. That stamps New England's going to win.
We lost David Andrews' thumb surgery. It's a huge loss.
But they tried. It's. I'm not too worried. The amount of offensive linemen we have in the backup, it's a very big loss. He's one of the best centers in the league. Don't get me wrong, but we have so many guys on our bench right now, like Hajote Friolte, whatever his name, Hajote Frijoles, and who's the guy? Michael, the Michigan dude that came in and played right tackle. I am not worried at all about our loss at center.
Yeah, I heard that they're trying out a new cast for him during practice, so he might play, or he might get moved to like guard or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
life could be worse. You know what I mean? He could be out for the whole year with blood clots again. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, quickly, bold predictions for this week. Any bold picks for you guys?
Yeah, let me go first.
That one's
Matt Stafford throws for over 365 yards.
I like that. Chase, you go. I'm still thinking of mine.
Bold prediction, not too bold. Cam Newton moves into second all-time rushing yards for a quarterback.
How many yards does he need?
1. Not even lying. Not even lying. He needs 1.
That's a pretty good one. I'm going to take Leonard Fournette back-to-back big games. I think he has over 100 and a touchdown. So,
That's all she wrote.
hope you guys enjoyed this triple option podcast. I'm happy that we're all back together. This is probably one of the better weeks we're going to get for games. So definitely enjoy the game. Subscribe, like the video, share with your friends, and we'll be back next week with our reactions and our game picks. We'll see you guys later.
Adios.